Welcome back to another Warrior Wednesdays. Coming to you from the unceded Coast Salish territories of the Squamish, Tsleil-Waututh, and the Musqueam people. So, Kisiuk Wishnam, Kisiuk Kukit, Kisiuk Quiet. And today I kind of want to talk about a situation that recently happened in my life. It was pretty recent. So I don't know if you watch professional sports at all, but as I mentioned, I live in Vancouver, British Columbia, and on my social medias, my Instagram's kind of been growing, right? It's been getting exposure, which is good, which I've been trying to work for. And recently, the Vancouver Canucks, a lady from there reached out to me and asked me if I wanted to come dance on March 30th for their Indigenous Appreciation Night. And we got to talking. I gave her my phone number. We chatted to the phone, and then she emailed me saying, can you invoice me, please? Like we talked about. And she's like, invoice me for $300. And she wasn't very, very organized, the lady, because she forgot to give me the name to who to invoice. And then I replied back, letting her know that it takes me about an hour to get ready, depending, sometimes a little bit longer because it starts from my hair and I have to do, take my feathers out if they're not already out. And it takes time to get suited up in my regalia. And I let her know that. So she came back at me with a counter offer of $400. And lately, with my my exposure to social media and the whole reconciliation thing in Canada, with all the children being found in these residential schools, more and more people are finding the funds to be able to fund Indigenous creators, to fund Indigenous artists. And I let her know that an elementary school, there was one that paid me $800 and another one recently that paid me $1,000 to come perform at their school. And I was like, if an elementary school that has a lot less funding than a national hockey league, and they can get me, they can pay me more for my time, and the Vancouver Canucks cannot, it's pretty disrespectful. To me personally, I feel like it's more lip service, saying, hey, look what we did. We got this Indigenous person to come dance for us to acknowledge the land, just the typical lip service that us Indigenous people are used to. And it would have been amazing media coverage for myself, it would have benefited me a lot. But in my heart, I felt like it was underpaying me. Like it was a slap in the face, honestly. To me, it felt like that. So I respectfully declined, and I said, I'm gonna have to respectfully decline if you cannot find more funds to pay me for my time. And it also takes time and energy and money to create my regalia. And regalia, right? Regalia takes a lot of time to create, a lot of energy to create, money to create, And there was someone that I posted, they said, what I said in my post, some of you may have read it. Don't sell or I should say, how did it go? Hold on. Never sell yourself short for what you're worth. Never, ever, ever sell yourself short for what you're truly worth. Don't settle for mundane when you were meant for extraordinary things. Don't settle for less when you've put the work in and the time and the energy to be more, and I was happy. I honestly felt proud of saying no thank you. I'm gonna have to pass, and I hope that other people stand up to what they're worth. You don't have to be Indigenous to stand up for what you're worth, but stand up for what you believe in your heart, what you truly know what you are worth, because deep down inside what you are worth, and don't settle for less. And if the people or person or whoever or whatever can't rise to your standards, then that's okay. It wasn't meant to be, and you just move on and you keep moving on with life. And the way I'm looking at it myself personally, I had people reach out to me and they said, "Oh, that would have been amazing to see you on there, I'm sad for you." But I'm not sad. I'm happy because I look back at myself a year ago and I didn't really see my true worth, my true self, right? I knew who I was, but I wasn't as confident as I was now and what I'm worth. And I would have took that performance, and deep down inside in my gut, I would have felt bad for saying yes. You don't always have to say yes to everything. You can say no, and that's okay to say no, right? And a lot of people don't say no, and then down in their gut they know that they should have said no, but they said yes. You're selling yourself short, and you shouldn't have to. No one should have to sell themselves short. And that's what I did. And I felt proud and I felt strong on doing that. And I also know that something bigger is going to come out of this. Something more extraordinary will come from this situation, because I feel like it's a test. I feel like it's Napika saying, "Hey, are you truly that person? Are you truly not? We're gonna feed you a little bit of, something, like we're gonna throw something at you and test you to see if you're gonna take that bait or not. And if you hold out of taking that bait, something more extraordinary is gonna happen. Just you watch and see." I had a gut feel. I do have a gut feeling that something extraordinary is gonna come from this whole situation, from me not selling myself short, and the universe will see that, hey, this individual is worth more. They didn't take the bait for the little prize, right? They didn't take the bait for the little fish. I'm in it for the whole thing, right? I'm in this for the long run. This is a marathon for me. And selling yourself short can come in many forms. Recently I got an email notification from Buzzsprout that I had passed 1,000 downloads. And I thought that was pretty extraordinary, right? I thought that was pretty cool. I took the time to reflect on that and feel good and feel gratitude. And 1,000 downloads didn't happen through one podcast. through one episode. It happened by multiple podcasts being uploaded, by 50 downloads here, 30 downloads here, 20 downloads here, 10 downloads here, whatever the number was. It wasn't extraordinary numbers. Like, it's not like my podcast gets thousands of downloads yet. But if I stick to the plan, if I see what I'm worth, and I never settle for less, the universe will eventually give me what I want, what I'm working towards. It knows that I'm not going to give up. And if it doesn't, that's okay. Because I'm happy with just making podcasts, to make them, right? To talk about my situations. Because I've told you before, my goal is to inspire one person a day in some form. And this is one of the forms of many forms that I produce that will help people. And I know what I'm worth. And I know I'm worth a lot more than what that lady that works for the Vancouver Canucks was going to offer me. First it was $300, and then it was $400, and then she said, I can give you tickets to a game in the future. But she didn't even tell me what seats they were. They could have been like the cheapest tickets, the nosebleed, the very, very, very top seats. And she didn't, she didn't offer me swag or nothing. And yes, like I mentioned, it would be phenomenal to get all that coverage, to get a video of me dancing there twice. She also wanted me to dance. And I know that they make thousands and thousands of dollars per game from profits. I know that they could do a lot more than that. And I knew the lady was very, very uneducated in Indigenous ways, because when we were chatting, she said, the Wolfpack singers are going to be there. You could, probably get together with them and dance with them, when they're singing. And I was like, the style that I do is more of a prairie thing, right? The plains thing, powwow dancing. And the Wolfpack singers are more West Coast style. And it has a totally different beat, a totally different meaning than what I do. And that's what I said, I was like, actually, I explained to her, I educated her, and she's like, oh, okay, how would you dance? And I was like, I would just pick a song off of iTunes and dance to that, right? I have lots of songs, and I could just send it to them or whatever, right? Because there was a DJ. I was like, you'll have a DJ? And she's like, yeah, we'll have a DJ. So I was like, yeah, I can just set it up with him. But when she came at me with the $300, in my gut, I felt really disrespected, because I know I'm worth more. So I said, wait a minute, hey, I don't like this. Can we negotiate some more? And then they counter offered with just a little bit of a sliver more. And I didn't take the bait. It's like a rat in a mousetrap. If you take that bait, it's going to snap you, and it's going to kill you. It's going to get you, because you're selling yourself short. Instead of going for the bait on the rat trap, you walk around and you search some more, and you find the pile of rice, or you find the pile of food in the house, the bread or whatever, right? If you just stick with it a little bit longer, you will find a bigger prize. So if there's something that goes on in your life as well, and an event happens and you're tested with that bait, don't settle for that quick little fix. Don't settle for the quick, little bit of instant gratification. Have courage, trust the process, and have that delayed gratitude, and understand that something bigger is going to come from it. And if she came at me and counter offered with $1,000, I definitely would have said yes, because at minimum, I said, from an organization of that magnitude, I feel like in my heart, in my soul, in my gut, that is the minimum they could do. The minimum they could do is that, a meal, some swag, maybe a jersey or a hat, maybe the new logo that they're releasing for the indigenous people. They could give me that as a gesture of kindness and thanking. As indigenous people, I've talked about it before, but we always give gratitude for things. We always give more than one gift with things. And that's where that disconnect from the westernized world gets lost. So understand that you are worth more, and never sell yourself short of what you truly feel like you're worth. Because that instant gratification never is the answer to it. The instant gratification may make you feel good in the moment, but when it's over, just like that, you're gonna feel, not as happy with yourself, because you didn't say what you truly felt. It's like when I don't eat McDonald's anymore, right? But people do. And when people go to McDonald's, they eat it and they think it tastes good. Yeah, it tastes good in the moment, and they feel good in that moment of eating that food from McDonald's. But an hour later, you feel sluggish, you feel like crap, you kind of feel lethargic, you feel tired, you feel bloated. And that's the instant gratification. That's not the delayed gratification. The delayed gratification would be taking the time to go to the supermarket, the grocery store, taking the time to pick out the food, taking the time to cook the proper meal, the healthy meal, use healthier ingredients, and then sit down and eat that. Yes, it's going to take a lot longer to do all those steps, to go to the store, to go home, to prep it, to cook it, to be eating it, instead of just going through a drive-thru and getting it in 2 minutes. But you're not going to feel lethargic. You're not going to feel like crap after. You're not going to feel tired. You're going to feel satisfied. You're going to feel good. You're going to feel happy, because you know that you spent the time making that meal, which will give you more gratitude for when you eat it. And when you eat things and take things and do things out of gratitude, it tenfolds the results of it. So I think I'm going to jump off now this week. I'll see you next week. And remember, everything always happens for the right reasons. See you next Wednesday, all my warriors. Take care.